Hi, Henk Akkermans here, Supply Network Dynamics Chapter 7, Clip 9, Combined Scenario. So, again here we have the base case, and what we already saw in the earlier scenarios, in the earlier policy scenarios, is that in this case you'd better do a couple of things. What you better do is that you have slightly more initial capacity, so that you start with a fully loaded team. Is that you have some flexibility in the schedule, not slightly more buffer options. Is that you do away with all the managerial stage gate tricks of postponement and slippages. And let's say that we have just a modest buffer of not even 20%, but just 10% more budget, and then see what that does. Start sooner, no postponement, and bang, straight for the result. So that's actually a project. If you look at the also at the cost figures, then yes, this is higher at 25,600 versus 30. So that's still some 20% higher than the original one. For a 10% buffer, that's quite impressive. But we do finish nicely on time, and we complete the project pretty nicely as well. You can fiddle a little bit with this, and in an optimized scenario you would, of course. What happens if we make the project start, project final date slightly more ambitious, so that there is more pressure on hurrying up with the tasks. Doesn't really help us. In fact, that's killing, interestingly enough. So if you want this project to finish after 140 weeks, don't make the project duration 140 weeks, because by the end there's a lot more squeeze to it. So that's not the way to do it. What would happen then if we, for all clarity's sake, if we make that 200 weeks, would that then help us? Well, let's see what happens. I'm as curious as you are. You actually even finish sooner, because there are no all sorts of strange short-term effects as a result of the need to finish in time. So this would even be better. If you look at the budget, it's in the end almost the same, and you start already a little bit sooner. So that's not a bad idea at all. Should we squeeze the budget a little bit more? Well, I don't know. Let's see what it does. If we go to just 5% more budget, we already saw that even if you go to 5% budget, in the end you spend more. Oops. So all the good things still work, but you have slightly less money to burn. Well, the timing effect is dominant. I'm not so sure if we do anything else in terms of, so we even complete slightly sooner. In terms of cost, it's pretty much the same thing. So a combined scenario where you cut the decision trap things, where you give slightly more buffer in terms of, or a lot of buffer, but slightly more is also okay, in terms of money and time, and where you staff the project from the beginning quite well, is the way to go. All these things can be calibrated and optimized, but there you would have the underlying parameters much more robustly estimated, and they definitely are not in this model. But they could have done it if only they had played this sim.